So I think that our 5 minute break was a good thing. And now we can come back and we can continue on talking. Um, we're going to transition into the agenda section. Do you all feel ready to move that in that direction?
I would say I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. So again, I just kind of want to reiterate the fact that it seems like both of you want to live in a place where you feel like you can host your family and your friends, and you both want to live in a peaceful neighborhood and feel like you are comfortable and that you belong there. I also have noted that you both value hard work, family, and have opinions on how it is that you maintain your exterior lawns of your house. Does that sound right?
Sounds about right to me.
So
Yeah.
it seems like the basic issue is how can Matt support his family at his place and Ryan have some peace and cleanliness as well? Does that feel like that's the heart of the matter?
Yes, for me it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So as I stated previously, it seems like we've got a couple of issues to talk about. One being communication and one being front yards. Is there one that either of you feel like you want to start with first?
No, we can start with communication.
Okay. So I think it's important for us to understand kind of where each side is coming from when it comes to communication. I'd like to start by Ryan maybe talking about ways in which you have tried to or maybe not tried to communicate with Matt in the past.
Yeah, so in the past, it seems like the only real communication that I had with you was calling the State Department on you. That was me. Other than that, I work a lot, so I don't really get out and talk to the neighbors a whole lot. And when I am home, I either like to spend it with family or sleep because I'm always tired. So I didn't really take the time out to go over and talk to you. I just kind of called the State Department to go kind of whip you up into shape in terms of front yard.
Thanks. Do you have any responses to that, Matt?
Really, it's just a matter of timing right now. The reason why my house looks like that is because of the people who are living there currently, but for a short period of time till they get on their feet. Really, I just don't want the State Department coming to my house bothering me, because to me personally it's embarrassing having them show up to my house. It's basically my view on it. I don't want the State Department coming over anymore, and I feel I should be able to have a barbecue in my backyard with my family and friends. It's my backyard.
Yeah. So I guess, Matt, since you responded back, for you, what would you like in a good neighbor relationship?
Maybe instead of calling immediately to professional or authorities to maybe come to me first, we could maybe talk it out. But there was lack of communication in this.
Thanks. And for you, Ryan, what would you like in a good neighbor relationship?
I would say the same thing. Just communicate with one another and kind of have mutual respect and understanding for one another. That way we're all on the same page.
Can you define what mutual respect looks like to you?
To me, mutual respect is kind of abiding by what others want while also kind of doing what makes you happy while also appeasing the others, which in this case is the neighbors, kind of finding a balance.
Yeah. For you, Matt, what would be your definition of mutual respect?
Basically, the way I treat other people is the way I want to be treated. I would say, like he said, a balance between, just a common ground on something. just having respect. I don't know. That's as much as I got.
Yeah. Do you have any other like maybe behaviors or acts that to you
Yeah, like-
convey respect?
Yeah, like respect my home, respect my family. I'll respect your home and I'll respect your family. It's vice versa. Works both ways.
So it sounds like, at least at a base level, you both, for you, respect means abiding by the other's needs, while also being able to maintain how it is that you operate and how you interact. So we kind of have this understanding of mutual respect, and it seems like we both value that type of mutual respect when it comes to communication. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that summarizes it.
Okay, cool. So so maybe moving forward as it pertains to communication, or if the two of you have some sort of frustration, what can we say would be our way of communicating with each other in order to air these grievances?
I'm always accessible by email. I have a work email that I have to check regularly, so you can always shoot me an email there.
I also have email. You can call my house phone. I'm usually outside, so you can probably just see me outside, just yell over.
Is there any form of communication that was just mentioned that either of you would be uncomfortable with? Okay. So it seems like then maybe we can agree on that if future issues, some sort of like grievances arise, we can communicate either by email or calling on the phone or just talking in person. Does that sound right?
Yep, that sounds
Okay.
great.
Are there any other things that people have been thinking about as it pertains to communication?
I mean, just, kind of staying updated with what the neighbors need in terms of what would make neighbors happy, and then vice versa, communication with you as to what you need for you in your situation.
So communicating personal needs.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Matt?
No,
On
I-
communicating personal needs?
No, I like that.
Okay. If there's nothing else as it pertains to communication, should we move on to front yard and front yard maintenance, which seems to be another thing?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much I can do with the cars at this point, though, because I have relatives living at my house, leaving their cars there. So until they move out, the cars can't move. It's just,
I guess my question for that would be how long they're going to be there for, because I am planning on selling my house here soon, and that was a big reason why I want the cars out of the yard. It's because I don't want my market value to plummet because of a neighbor having a dirty yard. So that's something that I could we can negotiate if need be.
yeah. Instead of them parking in my driveway, probably just park on the street, down the street.
At least for touring days and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work.
So it sounds like
That way
maybe-
there's not just a clutter of cars in front
Right.
of my house. It could be like separated.
So it sounds like maybe on like real estate visitor days,
Mm-hmm.
Matt can ask his friends and family to maybe park nearby so as to alleviate the amount of cars present.
Yeah.
Were there any other concerns that either of you had about what front yards look like?
Other than that, it's just really the cars that was unsightly in terms of what others might think of the market value of the neighborhood.
Did you have anything, Matt, about front lawns or back lawns or yards?
No, not really. Just when they're gone, it's gonna look a lot better.
When your family moves out? Yeah. Okay. So it seems like what's happening right now is not permanent, and might be something that you may be able to talk to should a realtor bring up any concerns as well. Is that you know Matt, you've chatted with him, and you know that it's temporary. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to talk about or negotiate?
Maybe the length of stay that his relatives have. Just because, again, if it's a super loud house or whatnot, or there's a ton of people in one house, I want my house to sell pretty quickly for my new job. So that's something that's important to me.
Okay. So, in your opinion, Ryan, what is like a reasonable amount of time?
I would say 6 months, 6 to 7 months, and then at that point, there should be people visiting my house, and from there, I would like to have it relatively clean and kind of free of space for people to drive by and see that it's a nice neighborhood.
What are your thoughts on that timeline?
6 months is enough time to find a job and get back on your feet, so I think I could work with that.
Okay. So it sounds like we can agree upon 6 months for members of Matt's family to stay, and then they will hopefully have found other opportunities. My follow-up question though is that I would like for us to discuss is what happens maybe if that's not met. Or maybe how will we communicate with each other?
I mean, at that point, I would say it's tough because I would have to have it looking nice, at least for the people that are coming to tour the house. So that could be something that maybe worst case scenario, they can kind of go somewhere else for the day or however many days it might be that the touring lasts. And then the same thing with the cars. That's something that I'd be willing to kind of negotiate just so that the house could sell.
So, go ahead.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay. I was going to say, seeing as because we previously agreed that we can have communicating about personal needs, maybe this is also an opportunity that if maybe for whatever reason your family needs to stay later, maybe once again you both communicate, those needs and what it is that you need in the moment, and try to work through that. Okay. Any other points that I forgot as it relates again to like front yards and family staying?
I think that's the important stuff for me, at least.
Okay. So I'm just going to reiterate some of the things that we talked about. So one, communication, and if there's some sort of misunderstanding or something that you both need to talk about, that we're going to resort to either email, phone call, or just talking face-to-face, going over to each other's houses. And we also are agreeing to communicating our personal needs when we need that. So if that is some sort of need to have family over and it's going to be a little bit more loud and you need that, that's okay. Communicating that and vice versa. If people are coming over to visit the house maybe and you need Matt to help with that process, communicating those needs as well. In the same vein of communicating the house, we've agreed that it's possible to ask Matt's relatives maybe park elsewhere so it doesn't feel as cluttered, but we also recognize that this is temporary and that hopefully in 6 months they'll be doing okay, but we may need to do a check-in at that point and again review these personal needs that we each have and try to come up with maybe a solution similar to one that we did in the past in order to move forward. Does that sound